Oh, yeah, the red light's on. What's up, everyone? Yes, yes, y'all, and you don't stop. Welcome back. It's Corked Stats Live, little special weekend edition, Underdog Best Ball edition. We're going to do a primer. And if the room fills, we can even do a little bit of draft. I don't mind. I'll be a bit of a donkey, put out some dead money out there. Again, welcome to the live edition of Cork Stats. It's Saturday night. Yeah, Underdog finally posted the big best ball tourney. I've been waiting for those. They kind of have unique scoring. It's a lot of fun. I, of course, like best ball because there's no in-season management and there's some big prizes. I did pretty well in it last year. Looking back, without the experience, I did a few new things this year. So we're streaming this on Twitter. Everybody, thanks for following along at MLB Moving AVG. This is also streaming live on the Cork Stats YouTube channel. Big thank you to everyone following over there. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you're not over at Twitter, I'm doing lots of stuff that's kind of unique to each of the platforms. So I'm trying to make it so you have to kind of follow me everywhere I go, which I guess makes sense. I'm working this hard and not necessarily getting paid for all this stuff, right? So um yeah, I wanted to do a best ball primer while waiting. I got 6 people left to go, which is fine. If this kind of, whatever, if this kind of drags on and the room doesn't get filled by the time an episode is done, then I'll just cap it. We'll stream another one another time. That's fine. Que sera, sera. No big deal. But I did want to get this out there. I've already had a few people reach out to me. They remember the work that I did with Chris Meany last year. A lot of us did very well. Man, I fell short at the very, very end. I mean, everybody, I guess, kind of says that. But the way Underdog works, right? Let's start getting into this bad boy. Best ball, but it's not the entire year. It's best ball, but it's a tournament. So I think you really got to keep that in mind, because it obviously changes the rules, and we're going to have to pay attention to the rules, of course. If we're going to succeed at this. So all right, finally, I'm sorry, it took me forever. I can finally get this hooked up to Twitter now. I can actually pay attention to what I'm doing. All right, everybody. So I was looking at it. Underdog changed a little bit. It's still $25 to get in. I think it's $100K to the winner, but they changed some of the scoring. So let's go over all that. We're going to do the scoring. You know me. I took all of last year's stats. I already translated last year's stats with this year's scoring. Either tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to bang out some projections. I'll probably get Steamer, and if not, the Bat X, and we'll do all the translations. So we'll get some rankings out, and we'll compare. You know me, how I do. If anyone's going to do, I'm going to overdo. Again, thank you for sticking around, picking up the new edition of Live Cork Stats. Everybody, you'll be able to check this out on the Cork Stats channel on YouTube, also the Cork Stats audio podcast. Make sure you check that out, man. I've been getting some great feedback. The Counterpoint episodes. Listen, I just listened to my favorite podcast because I'm always trying to stay sharp as I get ready for the betting season. And then when I have either beefs or things I want to counter or expand on, I do that. I take my little notes, then I go answer them. I put them out, do maybe 4 or 5 topics an episode. They've been going over really well. Every other week, I've had Matt Medica in the chair. Make sure you follow him. CTM Baseball, my boy Matt Medica, every other week with the Roto Sopranos. We've been doing really good. I mean, he's so experienced and so relatable. And I think I'm really good at kind of bridging that gap too, right? Like, I'm a little nerdy, but I'm from the street. I would say I'm weird, man. I got some weird stuff going on. But all that does kind of benefit us here. Let's get back into Underdog. The point scoring is weird, people. And that's fine. I don't like when people automatically dismiss things. I actually look at these weird and kind of wonky scoring, leagues as an opportunity for a lot of people to probably step on a rake, and that's what I'll be doing. So let's look at the scoring. First things first. I guess we'll start on the hitting side. It's funny, man. It's funny, of course. I already wrecked my stuff. It's 3 points. Okay, so 3 points for a single, 6 for a double, 8 for a triple, 10 for a home run, 3 for a walk, 2 for a ribby, 2 for a run, 4 for a steal. Now, I know that sounds a bit overwhelming, and that's fine. Again, that's kind of what we're doing here, right? We're supposed to be focusing on it. I'm here, and I'm going to help you kind of digest a little bit of it, hopefully. So I started running some correlations, just the regular Pearson stuff, just to see where it goes. And it makes a lot of sense. Like best ball, highest correlations are going to be with slugging and WOBA, of course. So those are the things we're going to look at. WOBA, and then when all the high WOBA guys are gone, you can turn your eye to X WOBA and expected slug, where listen, it's on base all the way, baby. The fact that they added in points for a walk and it's the same as a single, that's tremendous. Big bump for all the OBP guys. Obviously, a guy like Bryce Harper moved to the very, very, very front of the line. Let's take a look at that. I actually have that stuff. Right here. I tried to put together just a brief little set of notes that I could read. And of course, like I said, I don't know what the hell I did. Of course, I ruined it and I blew up some of my underdog notes already. That's okay. I got all the stuff right handy. So if we're looking at the big OBP guys and the big ex-Woba guys, let's see. Let's go by the top. I have to move OBP over actually. So it's funny, man. Mike Trout, I just did a video on him. You can check Mayo Media Network. Put in Cork Stats there. Did a video on Mike Trout, man. He's insanely good. I know that's not necessarily reinventing the wheel, but he's been so ridiculously good. Even before he left in that short set, he was like first in the league in absolutely everything. So, you got to consider a guy like that in a format like that where he can win it for you. You don't have to reach for him. That'll be the whole thing. In fact, I'm kind of learning with everybody right here. I see Trout is going off. He's sixth off the board right now. So I guess their market is pretty high on it. A player I'd probably be looking at, as sad as it is Ronald Acuna. If we think the season is going to be delayed at all, every day it's delayed, is definitely a big boost for him. Give me 1 second. Let me just move over OBP towards those notes that I was looking at before. That way I won't have to keep scanning back and forth on everybody. And, so it's pretty close to not necessarily standard points because of the disproportionate weight for home runs. Remember, a home run is 10 points. You're also going to get the ribby and the run. So a home run is not really 10. A home run is automatically 14, and then you can go up from there. So, of course, if we look at the home run guys, again, we're not looking to reinvent the wheel, but I just want to lay out the things that we are going to circle, the thing we do have to circle. Man, it's funny. When I pulled the cord on the live stream because we were down to only needing 6 people to get into the room, so I figured, hey, 6 people, let me talk this out. We'll talk about some rules. We'll talk about a little strategy, best ball in general, little underdog specific. Hopefully the 6 will get down to 2, 1, go, and we'll, lift off, and I'll do a little bit of the draft online. That 6 is now backed up to 9. So we may not even get it. So this is just your best ball primer, Cork Stats live edition, which is fine. Any questions? Anyone has it all? Get to be MLB moving averages, MLB moving AVG, back to that scoring, and those guys are really going to be looking at. So we can kind of throw away average if a walk is going to get scored the same as a single. Extra bump for the steals. You do notice that. So when I ran last year's, again, I don't have projections yet, but I did run 2 different sets. So I ran the top point scorers overall, but then I also ran the top point scorers per game. And hopefully, that might highlight maybe a player or two that otherwise didn't come up on the raw score. And I saw some of those already. Now, there's a couple of main takeaways, which I noticed right off the bat, kind of initially scraping the data. So that was what I wanted to highlight. And I think you're going to find it's really actionable right off the bat. Feel free to send me a thank you note. So I was curious, and again, I mentioned unique scoring. Sometimes it's unique scoring. I want to apply the scoring from last year going back. I want to apply that scoring to last year and see how it would have shaken out. And it's very heavily weighted towards hitters. So yeah, check this out. Top. Oh shoot. You know what's funny? I actually blew that I drew off all of my totals when I messed up that thing that I mentioned before. And of course, we're live, so I can do pitching without screwing it up. And it doesn't look like this league's going to fill, so I won't have this going too long. If I can figure out a way to put my hitting stats back together, I must have dragged something over it. I wonder if I could just back up over it. If I could go, doing the spreadsheet thing, if I could just back up on top of it. I'm not really sure if I'm able to do that. Oh, look, it looks like I'm doing it right now. Come on, baby. Of course, you know why. Galaxy brained, trying to be prepared, and being prepared turned into trying to be over prepared, and that turned into me kind of making mistakes. But look at me. I did recover it. So we're back on track because I did want to talk about the hitters. So top hitters. Check this out. Vlad Guerrero at 1968, Simeon 1911, Otani, Harper, Ramirez, Soto, Olson, Devers, Albies, Goldschmidt. Those are your top 10. The number 10 hitter was Goldschmidt. He was tied with Albies. It was 1724. Okay. The average was 1807. Okay. Remember that. Top 10 hitters averaged 1807. And when you go over to the pitching side, the top pitcher was Zach Wheeler at 1352. 1352. And if you go down to the top 10, it's Wheeler, Ray, Bueller, Scherzer, Cole, Gaussman, Burns, Woodruff, Morton, and Alcantara. Alcantara ending at 1159. That average was 1242. 10th hitter, 1700. 10th pitcher, 1200. Top hitter, 1968. Top pitcher, 1350. So really just a bit of perspective right there. Now we're getting going, people. There we go. Finally, I finally got the engine word in. Now we're rolling. I had a little bit of mistake, but such is life, man. Whatever it is, what it is. Really, really struck me, and that was actually the thing that launched the live stream in this podcast episode. Why, again, if we could just stop for a second now that I kind of got myself back on track to realize why it's so important to make sure we're looking at the rules and translating them. And I'm really going to push on the pitcher side. So the hitter side, as I walk you through it and read you the top guys, really made a lot of sense. The scoring even probably feels very intuitive. Pitching, not so much. And I think I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's just what it is. In Roto, some people think steals are unfair. Okay, so they're unfair. You can not play. No one makes you play. Or if you want to play, you play within the construct of the rules. You do the best you can to balance out the category and win, right? Because that's what we're trying to do. We're playing a game that we understand the rules of, and we're trying to win. Let's look at the pitching scoring. Again, hitting scoring, very intuitive. Pitching scoring, not at all. 5 for a win, 5 for a quality start, 3 for an inning pitched. So 1 point per out. Okay, right? That's probably the best way to understand it. 1 point per out. But wins are a function of distance because you need 5 innings. Quality starts are a function of distance because they're defined by distance. And innings pitched is a distance metric in itself. Like it is it's the distance metric. So there you have it right off the bat, people. I mean, heavily, heavily weighted with 3 points for a strikeout, minus 3 points for an earned run. So, you could eat a minus 12 on a grand slam. Pretty brutal. Let's stick with the pitching. Now that we have those numbers kind of fresh, Zach Wheeler, number 1 at 1350. Now, what I did also run was the averages, like I said. Let's bring up the averages. And so the top scorers by average in Underdog. So it was Jacob deGrom by a country mile. He averaged 51.5 points a start. And now there is one wrinkle to pitching in this format. The draft is back down to 6 people. We may draft live yet. And I'm going to, stick my foot in my anus probably on this one. But it's okay. I don't mind burning some money, hopefully in the learning process and then getting out some good content at the same time. So Jacob deGrom at 51 points, but the wrinkle I wanted to mention was best ball takes only the highest scores, right? So right off the bat, we almost need to throw away like season stats. You want volatile players. I wonder if the last draft just ended because now we're down to 5. So volatile players are fine because those spike weeks count. And the reason that this specifically applies to pitchers, I should say, is 2 start weeks. So if deGrom gives you 2 awesome starts in a week, he hung 100 points by himself. So there is something for pitching. However, it's very difficult to try and capitalize on 2 start weeks. Yes, it makes sense that aces, right, are going to go the most and put themselves in a position to go twice the most. But that's just not how it works. I mean, we're intuitively going to be drafting aces first regardless, right? That is how we kind of roll. Although maybe not so much as I'm thinking about it. I may not end up with a lot of aces And so let's talk some roster construction. We're 50 minutes in. We're 5 players away from getting the room started. So we talked about some overview. We described the scoring just a bit and how important it is to understand the scoring. That I translated the scoring going backwards. I'm going to translate the projections and come up with some more cool stuff. I haven't seen anyone doing Underdog best ball content, so I'm not waiting for anybody to do it for me. I'll just do it. Scoring is good. We did the pitching side, disproportionate towards innings pitched, of course. Strikeouts are huge, and earned runs are really bad. But if you notice, whip, not a concern. Whip is not a concern. There's no so walk rate we can kind of throw out. And that's where you see a guy like right makes sense, like a Robbie Ray, then guys that may have walked a lot of people, not necessarily going to get punished because they're getting a lot of strikeouts. So if because he was very good with men on base, his strand rate was to the roof, probably at unsustainable levels last year. But regardless, that's why he excelled so much. So that makes a lot of sense. After the Grom, that he's a unicorn. Glass now is at 44, Bauer at 44, Burns at 43, Bieber, Wheeler, Scherzer 42. So really, you want to think of your aces of aces: Rendon, Cole, Scherzer, all above 40. Then it starts to drop down, and then it's into tiers. Then you get down to your 37s, 36, 35, and it looks like an ADP board. Bueller, Gausman, Woodruff, Peralta, Cease, Montas, right? I mean, exactly what you think. Sandy Alcantara down at 23 in points per game, right? Because of the strikeouts. I don't think he's bad because he does give you distance. So he's going to have some love here. He's going to definitely get some love here. We want to be looking at those money starts. Not to be promoting just my own stuff, but when I did develop the money start, I had leagues like this in mind because it was initially developed for a point league. And it makes sense, right? So if you're not familiar, Money Start, that was also the article nominated for the FSWA that I did not win. Congratulations to Kenyatta, of course. I really wanted to win. I'm not one of those people that lies and says I don't and that I don't care. I didn't lose any sleep, but I absolutely wanted to win. It's a huge honor. It's resume fodder. I think even the finalist is resume fodder. But yeah, it was a huge honor, but I didn't get it. And now I'm not really writing anywhere, so that might have been my only chance. So such as life on that one as well. It's such a way the cookie crumbles. So I wanted to describe the best starts on an individual basis. Quality start, I felt it failed us because in the point league I was talking about, we were being punished for runners as well. So strikeouts really couldn't nullify base runners. It's like base runners don't count and strikeouts are huge. So it's a totally different thing than your standard point league. Again, there are going to be a certain segment of the population that come over from standard point leagues looking to beat up in Underdog Best Ball, and they're not going to. The front of the draft is going to look the same almost no matter what. We're going to win with our roster construction. We're going to win at the back ends of these drafts. So now let's pivot into the roster construction, probably the most important part of playing Underdog. These are 12-man leagues. I think it's a 30-second clock. We're down to 4 people. Yes, we might actually get this draft off, which would be a lot of fun. For real, I really want to do some drafting. I'm curious to see how people act, how people react in the draft room. So we might actually get this going. It's 12 people. I think it's 30 seconds, so it moves extremely fast. You could do very little bit of research. You could do little bits. You want to really have I'm always stopping a tangent, but hopefully it's important stuff. So the first thing you need to do really after you sign up for Underdog is set limits, roster limits. It's under like settings that you could limit in case you lose the draft time. It moves so fast. If something comes up, kids or whatever, you're going to lose the draft. It's over in a few minutes. Like it's just gone. It's just how it is. So you make sure you set your limits so they don't overdraft. I like the preset. It's 20 rounds. There's only 3 roster slots, meaning pitchers, infielders, and outfielders. And I think they should have added flex. I'm not sure if there was one last year. I'm sorry, bad. But 20 rounds, 3 pitchers, 3 outfielders, 3 infielders, 1 flex. 3 pitchers, 7 hitters. You only have 20 spots. Really kind of difficult. And most people run out of pitchers. And once you start taking zeros, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. In fact, that's what happened to me last year. I was doing very well. The chunk of the tournament runs like through the All-Star break. I actually think this year might be August. And then it's like a 2 week at a time playoff tournament. It's awesome. I was rocking and rolling. We were doing so well, and I lost pitchers at the end. I didn't have anyone to back them up. We lost Pablo Lopez. We lost Tyler Mahle for a little bit, a couple guys, and then it just didn't happen for us. We didn't get. You start losing guys, and you're in a lot of trouble. So this year, I think you want less offensive players since the player pool is so deep as far as pitching goes. I think we're going to be looking to stack hitters up front. Now, granted, on the roster slot and how the draft goes, again, I haven't done one of these, so I need to find out. I think getting your hands on one of the pitchers that have the 40 point per game average is worth it, to get one SP1, then I would totally get away from it. Like, I don't care that Chris Bassett is 31. I really don't care about that at all. I'll get that with Uoscar Inoa at 68. I'll get it with Sonny Gray at 63. Blake Snell, 69. I'm just going by points per game last year. These things are showing how it's going to shake out in the draft. We're just throwing people at you. So I think that's what we want to do. I think with 10 slots, I think we want to have, let's say, I'm going to say 9 pitchers, right? So for 3 active pitcher slots, we're going to have 3 humans for each to man each slot. 3 times 3 is 9. That'll leave us with 11 to allow us to go 5, 5, and 1 for the flex. So that's my gut reaction right now. Again, I'm being totally transparent, figuring this stuff out, on the air. I'm wearing my pajamas, basically. Although anybody on Twitter who happens to see this or YouTube, man, he'll look at just the state of my arm, whatever. The background, I brought back the stag baseballs, man. It's like my OG thing. So I'm really actually that background. I was loving that. I was really, really loving it. So Vlad Sedler said he wanted to go last night. Let's see, what's going on? We need 4 more right now. Maybe he'll push the envelope. Vlad is a bit of a market mover. He's also a really nice guy. If we get a retweet, maybe we'll get this room filled even faster. So, all right, let's get back to the board and how I'm going to attack it. So, yeah, I'm thinking if I have a chance, man, gosh, I don't know. As I'm talking, I'm almost debating myself because you say, what if you have a chance at like Cole or Burns, you take it where pitchers just can't attain that same ceiling for you. Again, Zach Wheeler was ridiculous last year. I'm looking at just their counting stats, right? The Underdog counting stats. He was ridiculous, man, across the board, right? Because it was Ks, innings pitch, earned run, quality start, and wins. He gave you everything he gave you. There's so much distance, 213 innings, 278 ERA, 101 whip, 10.4 Ks per 9, 20 quality starts. He was excelente. We're going to have to make sure, people, I forgot to mention that, make sure to highlight quality starts. I have all that stuff on my sheets. If you're looking for it and you need it, no problem. Let me know. 3 people away. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. So back to that first decision. As much as we might want the pitcher that averages 40 points a game, it's hard to scoff at the hitter that scores 1,900 on the season, which is 12 per game, 11, 12, at the top. Harper, a bit more. I'm sorry, I didn't have it. Oh, by points per game. That was total what I read before. By points per game, it's Acuna at 13.13, then Tatis, Buxton, Harper, right? So you see how they've leveled out the playing field where that speed really does make a difference now. So we're waiting for 2 people, and we're going to kick off the first live streamed, live Underdog Dinger Draft. Ohio Spaghetti-O, people. 2 away. I'm going to make a bit of a donkey of myself. I'm going to go small screen. I'll put the draft up on the board. I think I'll be able to cover the people's names. Not on Underdog, people generally use fake names. Anyway, 2 people away from getting this going. So like I was saying, that initial decision, hard to pass on that, you dreaming on getting 2 start weeks and scoring 100 points when Harper is scoring, 13 points a game. And so he's doing that every week, right? I mean, isn't that what that is? 13, same for Acuna, right? 13 times 7 is 91. That's their average. And there's no way that a starting pitcher could average that. It's not really feasible because it can't start enough games to do that. So even after I'm trying to convince myself that maybe I wanted an ace, I think we're going all. I think we're going all, all hitters. Once you get in the draft room, and this is why I'm here to mix it up for people, and I'll probably put some other work out. Maybe I'll revisit the draft another time, and we'll talk about. I'll tack it onto a quick stats or something like that. I'm looking forward to this draft. Underdog BESTBALL season. I really am. It should be a lot of fun. I really like this format. It's super fast. You don't have to follow it. There's big cash up top. And if you win your leagues, you make your money back and stuff. One person away from getting this started. Ha, yo, Silver. I am. All right. John Fish, legend. No idea what I'm doing with this scoring format, but I'll join you. Spoken like a true legend that he is. John Fish will be in the room. So it won't be that soft because I'll tell you what, there's some people sharpen off that. Just him knowing what he knows, he'll probably be fine. But you got to keep an eye on that scoring. You got to keep an eye on the rosters. He has a lot of NFBC roto experience, but I think the first time you're doing this, hold on, I got to tell him to check out the show. And we'll walk John and anybody else through this. We're still waiting for just one person. What else can we get to as far as the overviews go? So yeah, I think I'm loading up on hitters. Let's scroll down and see how far you get that. See now, the top 25 hitters all at that 11 point per game. Elite, elite, elite. We scroll down to 10. We're down to 59 hitters. Averaged 10 points a game. Go to 9. 102. It looks like 8 starting to fall off. 165. That's where it's ugly. If you're getting hitters in this range, I think you might be in trouble. But I also remember this. Remember, because it's pretty shallow, only 20 rounds and only 12 players. Especially me I hope it's not arrogant. It's just my familiarity with the back of the player pool, right? So because I do so many draft champions leagues and I'm doing deep 15 team leagues, I remember from last year, you don't want to box yourself out of one side of the ball. I mean, I wouldn't take all of my hitters up front. I am right now. My initial position is to stress hitters up front. It's really not even close. The ceilings are not even close. The draft is starting in a minute. Everybody, booyaka shah. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let me set up this draft. Make sure I have nothing embarrassing. All right. Is a little view here. Can I change the view here? What? Draft. I think I got to shrink this window here, buddy. Oh my God. Even my glasses, sometimes I feel like I'm blind. Oh, there's Pile Dial number 2. Johnny Fish in room. Gotta love that guy, man. Good dude. Really good dude. Really sharp guy as well. All right. So we're just matter of minutes away. Hold on. I got to retweet that we're live streaming the draft here. I didn't even check my pick or anything. See, this is what happens when you're worried about the wrong thing. Oh, draft starting now. All right, we are 8 picks away. The 1-1 went Soto. Johnny Fish is up on the clock. And you got to expect to be going hitter. I'm a little bit away. Like I said, I'm looking. Yeah, I'm looking for the big dogs, right? I mean, when you're only at 8, you got to be looking. You got to be looking for the ceiling. You want to be looking for. I want to be pulling off probably that points per game on the hitter list to start. So I got. It's Harper, it's Guerrero, it's really nobody surprising. Springer, Trout. I may go Trout in this bad boy. This is certainly the kind of format where he can rock the house. I wonder if maybe I should put it on the grid. Maybe that'll help. Can I make picks from the grid? No, I can't make picks from the grid, but I could probably get my phone going. All right, I'm gonna multitask. I wonder if I could dual platform this. Guerrero, Harper off the board as expected. So again, right off the bat, the market looking pretty sharp. Trey Turner. You notice I didn't mention that name. Oh yeah, he's down there, but below guys like Ramirez, guy like Springer and Otani. I mean, listen, Turner's awesome. He does play every day, but I think maybe we want to be looking at a bit more pop in the first round. Too bad. No, I'm gonna have to just leave it like this. And I guess I go right. Well, Acuna was there, and I think, unfortunately, given the state of the kind of crappy news we got, I'm taking the player with the highest fantasy points per game in this format. Drop to the 8. That's Acuna Jr. Boom, baby, boom. Okay, next up, yeah, I mean, I'm looking just big dog sluggers right now. So it's easy for me right here. I like Judge. We want Alvarez. I'm going to try and bring up my queue, and then that way I can put up the board so people follow along. Will like that. Tucker, no, I'm going to go Springer. Let's say Teoscar. We're a few away. It went Otani, Betts, and Cole. Freeman, you got to love, man. Devers. Yeah, these guys are all really, really good. Albies also, I think. See, Albies, I wonder if Albies is being a bit forgotten because people may be pegging him that he's a steals guy. Ozzy Albies was the 9th overall scorer in this format last year. So I have no problem with Albies. Plus, it's going to get you that infield. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I see Rafael Devers. I love me some Devers. Where's that bad boy on here? Not seeing him way up top. I'm going to really try and stick. I'm going to really, really, really try and stick to the guys that have all the on base. 3 picks away. It went Betts, it went Cole, it went Bichette, then it went Devers. We're 3 away, so we should set. Yeah, and I think Alonso goes. I think I'm going to go Albies, or I'm going at Aaron Judge goes right in front of us. I'm going to go Ozzy Albies. Let's stick in Atlanta, and I'm going to try and fill out that infield spot. That's the other thing we really got to keep in mind. Though the infield is like amalgamated, I guess you say. It's all all right. That's what I'll do. In between my two picks, we could rock the board. I wish they'd let you scream. Oh, I wonder if I could share. Oh, that would be cool. Maybe. Sorry, Ray. I got to learn. I'm learning a bit on the fly as well. I wonder if I could share that that window. Let's see. No, unfortunately. No, I'm not able to do it. Oh, that would have been really cool. No, just the way Underdog is set up. Sorry, but just the way Underdog is set up, you can't share that. So let's go back to the tab. Sorry, but you know me. That's kind of my style. I always try and improve, try and get better all the time. You're never going to stay the same every day. So, all right, the board's starting to rock and roll. While I was yapping, after Albies went Scherzer, went to Grom, Tucker, Alvarez, Freeman, making away the wrap. Manny Machado got P with Vladimir Guerrero, 2 big infielders, big OPS. That is a really good start. If you have the front of the board, that's what you want to be doing. That's what you want to be doing. Let's get an idea of pitching to hitting. We've only had 3 pitchers go so far. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And I'm a little disappointed actually with how sharp that is. It's always a little disappointing whenever whenever you're hoping that, people will kind of stumble a bit, maybe not quite understand the format, but it looks like everyone kind of does. Oh, maybe I'm gonna have to just shrink. Maybe that'll do it. Oh, you see, that's what it is. I'm just blind. I'm like, well, nah, I just don't love the way this. Whatever, maybe I could get better at this sharing thing at another time. All right, so it looks like we could look at like 3 or 4 rounds at a time. I wonder if everybody can even see this or if it's too small. Because I need a producer. When you're this talented, you know what I mean? Like I need some help, man. Oh, you know what? It's the same 3 rounds. So I can give you 3 rounds. Yeah, okay. I give you 3 rounds at a pretty good clip, and then we'll go to the other view when I go around the wrap. So that start on the end when Soto, Springer, Luis Robert. That is a bomb start. It's a lot of outfielders, but it's a bomb start. Remember, you only start 3 infielders, 3 outfielders, 1 flex, 3 pitchers. So where I'm looking to front load hitting, which is true, I do think there's probably a time to sprinkle in pitchers, right? Probably a point to sprinkle in those pitchers because you don't want too many bats sitting on the bench, right? So you could go all systems go, foot on the gas through 4 outfielders. So I think 4 outfielders is safe. But I think once you get to 5, I don't think I want my 5th elite outfielder unless I've got some innings or have filled in that infield. Just just my advice as I kind of talk it through. Let's get down to the other view. Oh man, it's funny how quick these things go. I see Altuve, Giancarlo Stanton, Marcus Simeon. See, Marcus Simeon is another big. He's another big guy in this format. He does all the stuff. He gets a ton of hits. He's constantly on base. Yeah, I think. Let's see. Man, Goldschmidt is out there. He's one of those 11-point guys. Like I said, I think that's where I really want to be focused. I want to be focused on the players that are at that 11-point a game benchmark. Altuve was on that list, so he's a viable pick right now. Goldschmidt was on that list. He's a viable pick right now. Nick Castellanos is a viable pick right now as well. I'm actually on the clock. Oh man, I think that's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Stanton healthy to go crazy. Those are the kind of guys when he gets hot again, you get all the spike weeks. You don't have to eat any of the garbage, right? You only get the good. You don't get any of the bad. Always kind of like a nice aspect of best ball, and the back door that leaves open. Let me get you back to that's me talking to myself. I'm unmuted myself. What a dummy. Gosh, I mean, if you can make every mistake doing live streams, I did it. But like I said, it's live TV. It's kind of what it is. So I went Stanton. After me went Woodruff. I'm just a handful of picks away, 5 picks away. Sorry, I got to go back to that other view and start mapping out my pick. I like Simeon. I like Altuve, especially with them both being in the infield. You got to like Bregman. Oh, you got to like Austin Riley as well. Austin Riley. That's a really big pick. I think maybe I want to go there with the upside that we've seen and the discipline that opens the door to the power. Again, I like the idea of using the point average per game to help to guide the direction that I'm going in. I do like that. Well, wait, I screwed that up. No, that's I do like that. We don't want to forget about the upside of Riley's nice, giving me the average with the ISO, so it's a lot of extra base hits and it's a lot of home runs. And we kind of have the Braves thing going. So if the Braves team is hot, Acuna and Albies, you get Riley in there too. The Braves are really good offense. You're going to be looking really, really good. So I'm digging this start so far. I'd be surprised if Riley goes. I wonder if we could play ADP chicken with him. No, I don't think so. He's not going to go the long way around. So I'm going to go with Riley because I want the big infielder, and I'll see I'm getting better. So I fix the view again, give you 3 rounds. You can look at the last 3 rounds of the draft. We're 16 picks away. Let's do a little bit of digesting. Maybe I can get myself in a better position than I was just now to be ready. And again, this is more of just a learning experience for me than anything. I never recommend you throw you anyway. I'm trying to win. I've got a little bit of work done. But again, this room looking pretty sharp. I'm a bit skeptical already of any team that has 2 of their first 3 picks as pitchers. Again, pitchers had a 1,300-point ceiling in this format last year. Hitters had a 1,900-point ceiling. I mean, and in fact, how about this? This is a cool kind of apples to apples right here. I know it's not a perfect comparison, but I mean, in a world of raw points, let's just take a look. So where 1250 got you. So this is funny. Who scored 1250? DJ LeMahieu on not a great season. Scored 1,249 points. It was really just a volume thing. He played 150 games, had 679 plate appearances, and really just did his thing off of volume, averaging only 8 1/3 points per game. So he was 89th in total score, and by average, I think it's even even lower than that. Yeah, it's even lower than that. It's past 100 already. I passed 100. I didn't find them. So I think that speaks volumes to the scoring type, and let that be the thing that dictates how you make these decisions. And not just other work you've done in the past or other formats, because it is going to get you in trouble. So speaking of that, let's look at Johnny Fish. How Johnny Fish do? Tatis, number 2 overall, excellent pick, of course. Corbin Burns fell to the second. Now, see, that is the situation I was alluding to before, where there's do kind of want to. Oh man, this thing stopped registering picks away. I'm gonna have to reset it. Oh my goodness. When technology starts to go nutty on us. Yeah, there it is. 7 picks away. So that is the situation I was alluding to, where I don't want to push pitching up, but if a guy like Burns, who can be the SP1, average 45 to 50 points a start, which means he could deliver you 95 to 100 points on a 2-start week, you draft Corbin Burns in the second, and then you figure it out. Then pile of dial Johnny Fish went Matt Olson, then Eloy Jimenez, and then Byron Buxton. Really, really smart stuff going on there. So, Johnny, you're doing very good. Not knowing about the format. Again, not knowing the format. It's it's points. So it's OPS. You're looking at WOBA. I ran basically all the correlations. Nothing really correlating very strong outside of slug and WOBA, above at probably like 0.65. So strong, not incredibly strong, because it's wonky. I do like the walks being added in. That would be another way that people might mess up later on. So we have 2 outfielders, 2 infielders. Phil would be proud of us because we're doing our brains out right now, keeping those draft options open. Now, let's see. Man, Ozuna, that's a big one. See, I didn't do my homework. This is where I'm kind of caught. Like, I didn't really do my homework down this far. So where you got to think a guy slugs like him. Let me see if we can find somebody a little more certain, or maybe this is the key where no one blows me away to try and go with the pitching. Man, Sandy Alcantara, Dylan Cease. I think I want to go with one of those guys. See where I think it's okay at a certain point. Man, Cease with the campsite. I think we're on the clock. I think I'm going to go Cease for the big K's. I'm going Cease. I'm going Cease to win it. I'm going for the win here. Alcantara's good for distance, which definitely works, and there is an appeal to him. But with the way strikeouts are per inning, the way they're rewarded, I'm gonna go. I want to go Cease. I think the door is open for him to just kind of go bananas, and we're only another 6 picks away. I'll tell you what, if Alcantara falls, man, there it's Chris Sale. He's like a league-winning type in this one. You get Snail. If you get Snell, but I think if Alcantara falls, I think I'm going to tag Alcantara, and then I'll go back to the hitters. Oh man, Tim Anderson. No, I'm not passing on Tim Anderson. We're not passing on Tim Anderson. If Tim Anderson falls, we can figure out Alcantara later. That's what I was getting at. There are hitters. Man, Mitch Haniger. That's a good one. If Anderson goes, we're going to go Haniger. We're 5 picks away now. I might even be talking to people that are in this draft, but I don't care. I'll be doing plenty of these. Ketel Marte goes. So now we're 3 away. I bring up the board. Alcantara goes. That's a fine pick. We're actually 3 picks away, hoping either Anderson, Mitch Haniger goes. Man, if Anderson goes, I'm going to be shot right now. I probably, man, that would be that. I always got to hate that. When you guys go like that, man, maybe I'm gonna go Chris Sale. I think I'd probably go Chris Sale for all the monies. Again, you just got to keep it on the upside. He can go distance because he's efficient and get strikeouts. Now he's pretty far away from that surgery. We could get classic Chris Sale, Julio Rice went. So I'm going with Tim Anderson. And see now again, as we do my work and as I put out the kind of positional rankings and all that good stuff, I'm going to get a little bit more into this. But I can see infield possibly being a problem. You want stacked infield. You're only rolling out 3 guys a week. Now granted, hitters are not perfectly consistent. So in my plan, as I'm verbalizing this for you, everybody, and please don't hold me to this a month or 2 from now. Follow my work as I continue to think through all this. But I said we were going to be looking for 5 infielders, 5 outfielders, 9 pitchers. That's 19, and then a flex, which will probably be whatever infielder outfielder is weaker. I would supplement with that, unless I guess I felt really, really confident with 5 and 5. It's just tough that we have 2 replacements for 3 people. Really, it's a war of attrition. This game, like no other. Point being that in this scoring, because it's so top heavy with hitters that get plate appearances. Like, how about I pay attention right now instead of not because it's so top heavy with hitters getting full playing time. Once they're gone, there's a distinct drop off into a glove that almost doesn't matter. It looks like, like I mentioned, once you get to players that are only average 8.5 points a game by this metric, meaning, they're not great on base, maybe not a ton of power, or even if there is power, I think you got to supplement with walks here because walks are 3 points the same as a single, and they can lead to the 4-point steal and the 2-point run. Looking at you, Miles Straw, right? Miles Straw is not terrible in this at the end because if he walks, there's 3. If he steals, there's 4, and scores is 3 and 4 is 7. He's scoring 9 on his way around the bases, right? 3, 4, and 2. 9 points getting around the bases in one trip is scoring is hitting a home run. So being able to turn a walk into a home run is pretty good. So we're 10 picks away. I'm trying to keep the 3 rounds up at a time. Making our way around. Let me catch you up. After we went Anderson, it went Fran Mill, Corey Seager, Logan Webb, Joey Votto, Kevin Gausman, Jonathan India, Carlos Correa, Jesse Winker, known OBP machine. Now, again, I'm doing so much of this on the fly. I don't know if I should be looking at total points. I don't know if I should be looking at points per game. I guess I should just be looking for kind of outliers, maybe. Let's see. Everybody up here is really at the top. Brian Reynolds jumps off the page, and it becomes like this whole guessing game at this point. Like, is this player even available? I have Sale still queued up, and I would not mind taking him. Brian Reynolds with an ABDP of he was taken already. Oh, Underdog is weird with that. If they don't have the star, mental note, no star means a player was taken. Josh Bell, Soler, Jared Walsh, Jack Flaherty, Jorge Polanco. See, it's starting. It seems like the infield is starting to get a little slow here. I like Brandon Lau. Man, Moncada, Cron, maybe. Yeah, it's ugly already, man. Cronenworth, no bias. Strikeouts are going to really hurt you. Willie Adames could be good in this format, but look how far down we are already. So I'm already telling people, man, you got to, Will Smith. Will Smith is awesome in this format. Will Smith really might be awesome in this format. He has a 188 ADP. In these new leagues, ADP is not really determined yet. So you got to kind of fish all the way to the back of the pool. When you're looking, I was already thinking about trying to leave infield spot later on for Bobby Dalbec and grabbing him wherever I could. I got to get back in to the top of the board. Let's see. We are 3 away. Chris Sale still atop my board. I have him with Will Smith, catcher. I think it might be a little too soon for him. So maybe you can an outfielder. It's getting pretty whack here. Conforto is an on-base guy. Verdugo is an on-base guy. Nelson Cruz. Maybe Verdugo is a play here. Hunter Renfroe I like a lot. Oh, Chris Sale dropped. So we're going to go with Sale and look for that upside pitching. Let me catch you up on my team right now. Hopefully it sounds pretty good. Topside pitching with Dylan Cease and Chris Sale. Yes, please. Infield is Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Tim Anderson. Yes, please. Outfield is Ronald Acuna and Giancarlo Stanton. Looking pretty good right now. But these rounds are where it's going to be won and lost. It's kind of tough to I guess I got to control F. I guess that's the key here. Right, Renfro. Just under 10. It's really not bad. Just under 10 points a game. I mean, that's definitely palatable. Rosarena better than 10 points a game. Walsh is around 10. O'Neill over 10. All right, I want to just get everyone familiar with these names. I'm rattling off the good ones. So if you get caught, like I said, this draft room moves insanely fast. Insanely fast. You really can't research during. I don't think it really works like that. So right now, I have Renfro up with 3 picks away. Then maybe it's Verdugo. Oh man, it is getting ugly fast. There hits a point where then you don't push it, right? We want impact players. We got to be getting impact players. Okay, it'll be Walsh, even Sal Perez. I wonder where does Sal Perez rank on this? That's a good one. I mean, it's tough because he is in line every day. He's better than 10 points a game too. So all right, we're on the clock. Let's see, Renfro. Now here's as I like Renfro better than I like um, the infielders Walsh and Perez. However, infield is more important right now, I think. I'm gonna go Jared Walsh. Let's go Walsh to add to that infield. Again, impact. We want impact guys, the double digit average per game. If we can, right? We wanna try and construct an entire roster of 9 point a game players, right? So I think that is probably that. I think maybe that sounds like a good place to start people. If you're just focused on the 12, like I was, stupid me, Stanad. What am I going to do with it? I'm just starting, But if you're just looking at the 12s and 11s, those guys are gone really early. Although, well, looking at a couple names here, Frank Schwendell, 16th overall in points per game in this. So, that's just a guy that yeah, you have to get circled there. So I think he's in like the Dalback category, people. So uh, circle Schwindel, circle Dalback as your infielder. See, now look, I already have 5 infielders. I was talking about capping at 5. Maybe those would be my 2 at 6. So I'm done with infielders now. See how later draft decisions will help shape up front. So maybe that's a good use of our time right now while I'm BSing, right? Because I said I had 4 infielders, so we're going to skip that. We need to get into the outfielder. I only have 2 starters. So we like Renfro. We like Verdugo. I think Conforto with the on base skills is a good one here. Are we buying back into Nelson Cruz? I think I'd like, let's see, I'm not fading Cruz. He's awesome. I'd like to be a little bit younger if I can, but it's not really looking great, man. AJ Pollock, he's a killer because of he's a killer because of the health. And I don't know if we have enough replacements to play a guy like him. He can be really good. Oh, Alex Kirilloff is in the 200s. I think we got like a guy like that. He has some nice average upside. Man, it is ugly fast. There's a million players, but it's very specific skill set that we're looking for here. Going to be, man, outfield is tough, and I'm already feeling like because I've crossed a couple infielders off my board. See, I was wrong right off the bat, but you know what happens when you hypothesize. You're going to be wrong. So my initial instinct was infielders would be scarce, and we should tack them early. I've already found there's infielders I crossed off my board and infielders I still like. Sal Perez is still on the board at pick 100. Jorge Polanco still on the board, pick 100. Trey Mancini, Dansby Swanson, CJ Cron. These are good players, man. Justin Turner is also very good. Anthony Rizzo, Josh Donaldson. So I think I'm already maybe I was wrong about the number of positions in the infield. Just that amalgamation makes it less scarce than I thought initially. So, listen, even in this one episode, hopefully you learned something as I did. It just cost me $25 to do it. So we're halfway through the draft. I told you these things really go really, really fast. I think I'm going to try and stick this out as best I can and get as many of these thoughts out there as possible. And then, me, I really always enjoy kind of back testing my work. I'll go and check out this draft, in a couple weeks. Maybe we'll revisit it. We'll do an audio pod or maybe just launch another draft. If any of my loyal and awesome listeners out there would like to be part of the live stream, let me know. Hit me up, and maybe we can get something going. Friends to the front of the line, of course. So let's get back to this positional kind of balancing. Already, I'm 2 picks away. I forgot about that. All right, the short wrap. That's okay. We have Renfro, Conforto, man, Kirilloff. I really don't hope those 2 go. Maybe I would have to. Maybe I'm pushing a little bit. It's Duvall, Carlson. It's not really the sets I'm looking for. We're looking for a little more power. Maybe Benintendi is a better balance because he gets on base at a pretty good clip. So I'm going to go Renfro, Conforto, Benintendi right now. And maybe it's actually Conforto. I think I'm going to go Conforto first with the, let me see if I can look this up. Michael Conforto. Oh, sometimes the search function is really annoying. Oh, not good. Yeah, last year he was bum status, huh? No, give me Renfro. I'm buying up on the Brewers. I'm into the. So we're gonna go Renfro. Let's recap this team again so far. I started out with the 9 pick and went with Ronald Acuna. He was the top scoring player in this format on a per game basis. last year. Speed, on base, power, everything you could ask for. Then I went Ozzy Albies, where I wish I had gone outfielder. I should have gone Jordan Alvarez or George Springer there. That would have been the sharp play. So if you end up in the back of the first round, then you either end up with like Trout or Acuna. Let's say Acuna even goes. I'm not really big on bets. I could see going, Judge, Jordan, double tap at the turn in this format and try and fall back on the infielders we've identified that will be able to get at these rounds, not at the end of the draft, but just at these rounds in the 10. So I went Acuna, Ozzy Albies, Giancarlo Stanton, Austin Riley, pivoted to pitching and went Dylan Cease, back to Tim Anderson, who's awesome in every format, then back to pitching with Chris Sale, right? Making the exception for the high strikeout pitchers. I think that's when you make the exception. I think that's the time to do it because of the 3 points with the point for an out. So it's really 4 points a strikeout, not 3, right? Every strikeout automatically coming with an out. All right, we're back on the clock, man. I'm feeling a little reticent about Conforto, which, was making me worried about these outfielders a bit more, but it's Nimmo, it's Badu. I mean, yikes. We only have 10 seconds. These drafts just go so fast. Kelnick. No, I'm going to go Benintendi with the on-base skills. Now look, we're in the 10th round, and I don't feel great about what's to come. And there's really all you need to know about either how we feel about pitching or maybe, again, how we feel about the infield. Maybe I should have stopped at 3, not only not taking an infielder in the second round, not taking a fourth infielder, I should say. So I think not only did I screw up the timing, I think I screwed up the positions themselves. But, I'm being honest enough to do that. Hopefully I'll be better about it in the future. So Stanton, Riley with the pitching with Cease, back to Tim Anderson, pitching with Chris Sale, Jared Walsh, Hunter Renfroe, and Andrew Benintendi. So I'm feeling very good about this. But in this format, Renfroe is my 3, Benintendi my 4, and on the other side, Anderson and Walsh. So it's Anderson, Walsh, Renfroe, and Benintendi to share 3 spots. So I feel good about that, but we've got to keep supplementing it. And now, it's apples to apples. Who you like? I'm looking at the board. I'm seeing pitchers that I like. I'm seeing Blake Snell and Zach Gallen. They jump off the page for me. Where the bats I'm seeing, I just don't absolutely love. They're good. I mean, it's Justin Turner, it's Jake Cronenworth, Anthony Rizzo, guys I mentioned before, Adames, who I really like, but somebody else, Gallen and Snell just went tap tap. We just got double tap, 6 picks away. The pitchers that we loved were gone. Such is the draft life when you always be drafting. I do see Trevor Rogers still floating there at pick 124. He's still on the board. That's what I'll be going. Our boy Johnny Fish went with Anthony Rendon. I think it's a good pick. Again, you're going to get on-base skills. He gets a lot of hits, and extra base hits are huge in this format. They really, really are. It's a slug league, SLG league for sure. Man, I see Trevor Rogers. I see Manoah. So I think, that's kind of how I rock and roll at this point when I'm like apples to apples, not sure where I want to go. I'm just looking for the pure impact. So I think those guys are the pure impact. Remember, we do have this needed third starting pitcher. And though I agree with what I said earlier about a blob somewhat, there are guys that, the strikeouts can just separate them from the field. So we're 2 away. We're going to get one of these 2, and then let's try and play on the next bat. We'll take a look at Kirilloff and how we think he might do in this format. All right, we're up. Trevor Rogers falls to us. We go Dylan Cease, Chris Sale, Trevor Rogers. Big strikeouts on this team. If Manoah falls, I wonder if he's the play. Manoah really might be the play. Remember, we have Schwendell and Dahlback waiting in the queue to be that 5th infielder. Their ADPs are another like 50 picks away. We only have 4 outfielders. We could use a little bit of a boost there. Let me check out Alex Kirilloff and how he did. Man, sometimes I think I'd just be better off going by alphabetical order. So let's see. Alex starts with an A. I learned that a long time ago. Alex Kirilloff, 8 points. He was really not great. He only had 475 points in this format last year, but we're kind of getting to that point where these totals and the averages might screw you up because, we're getting to like where injuries and things of that nature, get in the way. Again, we're 3 picks away. I see Manoah. I don't really love these guys. Duvall is on the board. Eddie Rosario, Kelnick, Myers, Brantley, Hayes. Man, maybe Pham, Pollock. I think I might have to go like that route, but they're further down the board. Joe, Adele. It already looks like we're going to need our 6 picks on in the outfield. It already looks like that. Dalton Varsho. I don't think he gets on base enough for us, man. It is ugly, fast up in here. Man, I'm going to actually take a shot on Sam Hilliard. He does a little bit of everything. I actually have him pegged for a bit of a bounce back, but gosh, it is just the grossest. It is the grossest of the gross right here. Duvall, Donaldson go. Man, we need outfield. We need outfield, but I just don't. I just not going to reach for it. There's so much impact in Manoah, and I kind of have him near. This is kind of the end of it tier for me. Matt Chapman goes. I don't think Chapman's really viable in this. Um, we're going Manoah. We're adding to the pitching staff. So the pitchers are looking really, really strong. Now I think we could totally drop back. Cease, Sale, Rogers, and Manoah is like, man, it doesn't even feel like we dropped back on pitching. It feels like we pushed up on pitching. We got a lot of really good guys. I expect these ADPs in particular to get bumped up as these leagues continue to sharpen. Let's see. So we have our 4 outfielders. We know we want 5 or 6. We already have some in the queue. Now we're just back to those outfielders. Gosh, gosh, gosh. How do we? Well, I know what I'll be doing now is I'm going to sort by points per game. Oh, I'm going to sort by position and then sort my sheet by points per game. So if you go position and then go by points per game, oh, no, I have to do the other direction. Then it'll give us. Then I can rank outfielders specifically. Okay, here we go. And we're looking for high ADP outfielders. Oh, here, okay. See, I was a little slow to this. I could have presented this a little bit better right off the bat, but I got some good stuff cooking, I think. Trying to find values. Hold on, I have my stuff up. Yeah, so we're looking at like Schwarber is a standout because he's in the top 50 in points per game, but far back in EDP. Mitch Haniger, he's gone. Hunter Renfroe, I snatched him. Austin Meadows. Oh, Austin Meadows was still on the board. I don't know if he's still out there. See, like, so I think that's that. He just went. But that's going to be part of our job, people. What I'm going to be doing is looking to identify the values at the weaker positions. So Meadow, Grossman, Ramon Laureano, he's going to have the suspension, but we know that's there. I think I like Ramon Laureano, right? There was Pollock. I mentioned that. I wonder between the two of them, if we paired like Pollock with Laureano, if we get a full season out of the two of them together. The problem with Underdog is like that's all of our spots. Then the next level, I already grabbed Benintendi. I'm looking for him to take a step forward a little bit. There was Dylan Carlson. Oh man, look all the way down here is Badu. There's Adele, Soler, Santander, Blackman, Rosario. It gets kind of rough, man. It gets rough. Then I'm looking at Connor Joe and Garrett Cooper. Like, yeah, these are guys I have on like deep sleeper lists, but not really anybody I anticipated. Man, a guy like Tommy Pham I thought might be good in this format. Only posted a 7.5 points per game. Jared Kelnick, 7.5 points per game. Margot, Conforto, only 7.5 points per game. Although I think he's going to get back on track. I really do. He has those skills. Hilliard was down at 7 points a game. So, I mean, hard to reach for a guy like that who kind of stunk. Though I do think this might suit him. Kirilloff still sitting in the queue. I didn't realize he's at ADP 224. We're at about pick 150. So I do expect some correction on Kirilloff. Again, there's just going to be names that are kind of falling. Blackman's there. I'll go with Blackman. Man, I just did a breakdown of Blackman. It's just not overwhelming. Man, Santander, Pham, Lewis, Pollock. You got to circle Pollock, got to circle Joe Adele. And I think here's your lesson is that's what you're up against, right? We got Ramon Laureano. Remember, it's just a suspension, people. So as providing I have Acuna, Stanton, Renfroe, Benintendi, that they get me through the first, 3 weeks, man, maybe that's enough. I think people are dinging Laureano too much. The problem with him is if the season is shortened, the suspension still looms. So it's actually worse. So I guess it does make sense to be pushing him down in a way. But if you're looking at these names, man, we're at a point where, again, once you 30 games are done, you have a legit outfielder. This is like scary as hell. So I think lesson is learned. Kirilloff was an 8-point player. And look, as you get further down, see, so if you're pushing up pitching, you could have that 10-point. Really push a pitching, you have the 10-point priority. Push a pitching a little, you have the 9-point priority. And if you pitting, I'm saying, and if you don't push a pitting, then you have an 8-point priority. We're on the clock. Oh man. Blackman. You know what? Let's go Blackman. I'm gonna go Loriano next. Blackman, hopefully we get the DH. He's back in cores. I mean, it's the best on base environment. His BABIP at home was so low. I'm going to buy back on Blackman, I guess, at the price. All right, let's do the update. We're 5 away again. So again, I'm going to target another outfielder here. I got Laureano, Pollock, and Kirilloff. I think I'm going to put Kirilloff above Pollock. This ain't he's healthy. So right now, pitching staff is Cease, Sale, Rogers, Manoah. Quality starts, lots of strikeouts, hopefully good win context outside of Miami. Infield is Albies, Riley, Tim Anderson, Jared Walsh. Outfield, Acuna, Stanton, Renfroe, Benintendi, and Blackman. And look, there's a 5 already. Like I didn't even realize there's a 5. We're only allowed one more outfielder on this team and one more infielder on this team. I mean, it goes so fast that you just got to scan this entire thing to make sure that there isn't another outfielder that just got lost in ADP that we love. Right, we're on the clock again. So right now it's Laureano, unless we find somebody else. Dickerson, Reyes, Kingery. I mean, it looks like Trashola at the bottom here. Ortega. I mean, you're really pushing it here. Alford, Yoshi, Susugo. I mean, listen, there's an argument to be made for Susugo and Garrett Cooper if you are one of the people that goes pitching heavy up first. It looks like Trashola back here, man. So we're going to go Laureano. He's healthy. We just got to serve that 25, 27 games or whatever it is. But again, people, I think the main takeaway here for audio and the video listeners, podcast listeners alike, is roster construction, man. And every pick just culls the herd. That draft pool gets sliced down to absolutely nothing every time that you decide to break away from those hitters. I mean, listen, there's still hitters that are getting full competency plate appearances. Some are even, at near tops of lineups, I should say. But there's just not a lot that's really desirable here. Oh, I'm looking. Schwendell is coming up. I'm okay passing on Schwendell. I'd rather kick back and go Pollock. We need to focus on some pitching people. We're 12 picks away. My boy Jordan Montgomery. Love me some Montgomery. Patrick Sandoval. I'm worried about the health, but the strikeouts are everything here. Ooh, Logan Gilbert. See, I think you could push back pitching in this league and really not have to feel like, you don't have to feel like you did Shane Baz. I mean, innings might be a thing, but again, remember, ceiling plays, ceiling. If he comes in, halfway through the season, or you can get all of the goodness. Tristan McKenzie's a ceiling guy. Josiah Gray's a ceiling guy. I think that's the way we want to be targeting the late pitching. Oscar Inoa, I mentioned, is a big strikeout guy. I think that's what we want to be doing. Hopefully, we're not desperate enough to need Mitch Keller. Caprillion, Freeland. Someone might draft Soroka. They say maybe back in the second half, but I don't think I'm ready to go there. Look, just give you an idea. I mean, Aaron Savale does not have an ADP. Brady Singer does not have an ADP. So then once you get to the point of guys without ADPs, they're just like mixed in, and there are some goods. There is some goodness here. I mean, they're not the greats, but there is some goods. Domingo Herman has got nasty stuff. I saw Patrick Sandoval just went. I saw Wendy Contreras on this list. And these are guys that are basically going to go undrafted. You're going to have your pick. You're going to have your pick of the litter whenever when you're ready to draft pitching, if that's the path that you decide to take. If you decide to try and rock that back end, flex those draft champion skills and get those late pitchers. They're there. They're there. I mean, it's Shane Baz, ADP 222, McKenzie 236, Gray 236, Keller unranked as he should be. Jordan Montgomery just went 4 picks away. I wonder, do I need my infielder yet? We just scan ADP really quick to see if we near the top. I'm ready to miss on Schwendell if I get Bobby D. I don't care. Bobby D's just fine. Yeah, Schwendell is going to be gone. We may have to get Dalbec on the next one. So we're gonna prioritize Shane Baz, right? That makes sense. We want the big strikeouts. I like Gray, but I think McKenzie's probably a little more certain for the man. Alex Wood right on top. I mean, the health concerns me. Although the blisters were not an issue after the sticky stuff. It's absolutely feasible, man. Trevor Bauer is there too. I really not that. I'm going to go Baz. But if Bauer falls, I'll go Bauer. I really don't give a crap what anybody says about me, man. I want to win. I want to win the overall, and I think Bauer is a pathway to do it. Per start is he's just through the roof. Casey Mize out there, Taiwan Walker, Alex Cobb. There's Joe Ryan. There's guys that people like. These are not necessarily all my guys. Bailey Ober. There are guys. Tyler McGill. Matt Modique is Baby Goat, New York, Urquidy, Eliezer, Albert Alzolay. It's just like you just have your pick a little Tanner Houck. Like you can do things in the backs of these drafts. There's a lot. There's a ton. There is an absolute ton going on. And we're even going to hit a point where people are not drafting pitchers anymore because they're moving on to whatever's left in the hitting pool. So there's a ton here. I'm going to have to go through this. God, it's going to be 1,000 names on this list. I am not going to be able to get through them all, but I am going to get through them all. Make no mistake. I like Glenn Otto, Alec Mills. Let's see. I'm just kind of flinging around. I said Domingo Herman, Roansy Contreras. I like those guys. I think they could be impactful. Contreras could get a spot right out the gate. And if he does, he's going to be a big pick, right? If spring training opens and Contreras is making the rotation, looking really good, he's going to be drafted really high. You're talking about like rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds of value, windfall profits, which is really what we're looking for. Schwendell fell. I'm going to let him go one more time. Let's go with McKenzie. Again, we're looking for the strikeouts, and I'm overloading pitchers. So for anybody, I saw a couple of new eyeballs up in the room. I lost myself, which I guess is what happens. Oh yeah, for the new people in the room, let's just do the roster construction just really quick, right? So, Underdog, it's 20 rounds. There's 12 players, so it's your 240 drafted, but it's segmented into infield, outfield, and pitching, and that's it. And you only start 3 at each week. Plus, now there's a flex, so it's actually 3 pitchers, 3 infield, 3 outfield, 1 flex. So you're rolling out 7 hitters. 3 pitchers, you only have 20 spots. And I think one of the largest pitfalls that I've seen so far, I think one of the largest pitfalls I've seen is people improperly drafting, improperly constructing the roster. If you're only going to go with 6 pitchers, I don't think you're going to have enough to finish. So I'm going to look for 9 pitchers, right? So 3 at each of the 3 slots, just to recap. And then 5 and 6 infield and outfield, or 6 and 5, depending how that draft shakes out. In this particular draft, the outfield was weaker than the infield, so I tacked on the 6th outfielder. But remember, once 6 outfielders, that's it. You're gonna be done. And I have 5 infielders. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. I am done. Wait, I actually think I left myself one. Right? Did I leave myself one? Right. I have 6 outfielders. I slammed the door. I only have 4 infielders. I have Schwindell and Dalbec in the queue. I'm hoping for Dalbec, but I'm going to start racking. I'm going to look to rack up quality starts, right? That's what we're looking for. So I already have 6 pitchers. I mean, they're pretty good. Cease, Sale, Trevor Rogers, Manoah, Baz, McKenzie. Really, really strong 6 guys. We're going to add 3 more to that staff in a league where we only need 3 every week. Right now, we have Albies, Riley, Tim Anderson, and Jared Walsh. Hopefully, we tack on. I keep saying Bobby Dalbec, and meanwhile, I didn't check the infield ranks. Like, what if there's somebody better? And the lesson there is just don't get too married to your priors. Like, I just did that in front of everybody, and I made a donkey out of myself. But such is life. Live to draft another day, I guess. Yeah, there's Popek here. Jesus Aguilar back there. I mean, even like Christian Walker. I was saying Garrett Cooper, Spencer Torkelson. Like, there's bats. But are they reliable enough to start? No. I would want them to be my kind of ancillary, right? Those kind of secondary bats. As we go through the draft, I'm saying outfielders to the front of the line because they dry up first. Then prioritize infield, somewhere in that, let's bring up the grid again. Somewhere in that, let's call it, see, 7 rounds where I took my second starter. I probably should have. Yeah, I guess I couldn't. No, no, I want 2 starters. I would have not grabbed Albies. So I like this draft to the T, except I wish I took Jordan Alvarez at the 2. So I would have went Acuna, Jordan Alvarez, Giancarlo Stanton, then Riley, Tim Anderson, Jared Walsh, and then you could have gotten another infielder. So that's what I should have done. As good as Albies is, not a knock on Albies, I think I mishandled that because I didn't, that's why you have to get into these draft rooms or listen to somebody like me, willing to kind of make the mistake. I mean, although I think we're doing very good. We're 2 away. Now it's just, there is no ADP at this point. Mize had the big step forward, right? What's up with Mize? Josiah Gray, Oscar Noah, those are kind of the guys I see. Pivetta, Pablo Lopez, Hyunjin Ryu, Steven Matz. Man, maybe the answer is Ryu here. You know what? I think the answer is Ryu here. But talking about reliability, and wins and quality starts, I think Ryu is the answer over the youngsters. As much as I like the strikeouts, I went Ryu. Again, remember, quality starts, draft to the format, stay within yourself. That's really the best idea. And particularly in this case, where I'm going to be drafting 9 pitchers to look for cover 3 spots. Ryu is my 7. So I don't know if anyone saw my Ryu video on Mayo Media Net. He's very up and down. So he was one of the league leaders in those money starts I mentioned earlier. I think, man, at least 1 out of every 3 times, I think he went 7 innings minimum, 2 earned runs maximum. So that's obviously somebody start. Oh, Bobby Dalbec. I got Schwizziped. I got swiped in the 18th. So I'm 2 picks away from my other guy, Schwendell. So I'm gonna peg Schwindell here if he doesn't go. Joe Adell went in front of us. If not, Grandal, no, you can't do that. Luis Urias, Ahmed Rosario. Ugh, gross. Maybe I would go Aguilar. I'd probably go Aguilar. Yeah, if I get whacked on Frank the Tank, I'm gonna go with Aguilar. If not, it's Frank the Tank. Yeah, they went to Les. They were thinking the same thing. So we're gonna go Schwindell for the big average. He was a monster in his format, ladies and gentlemen. Monster in his format, like total mile. Like a second round pick. It is easy second round pick. He was so good. He just fits us perfectly. There's no penalty for striking out, and you get all the love for home runs and hits and stuff. So he's an extra base hit or a strikeout guy. So he's just perfect. Absolutely. All right, we're 15 picks away, so I could pretty much come off this. It's just a matter of what pitchers we like at this point. That was pick 18, so there's 2 picks left, and then we're going to get out of here. Let's highlight just the pitchers. Again, if there's somebody you think fits in this spot, feel free to let a brother know. I'm thinking maybe Casey Mize. I don't really have much Mize, but I do like that he's young, right? And we weren't getting quite a bit of distance, at least in the beginning of the year. And I know I read quite a bunch about him progressing, so I think I'm going to move Mize up. And then the rest of the guys, I do like the strikeouts, but see, Rasmussen is good, but he does not get the distance, and you need the distance in this one. Man, maybe Cal Quantrill is a beast. So this is just a control F attack going on here. Let's see, Cal Quantrill was pretty good in this format. We're up at 29 points to start, which is probably right where you want to be. I'd say anybody that's below that 28 point mark, yeah, that puts them outside the top 75 starters, 12 teams. Yeah, that's probably it. That's probably it, right around that. Or maybe a smidge below, at one point here and there. It's not going to kill you, but you want to be staying in those guys that have the high potential for a turn. Again, this kind of disproportionately weights distance, I think, because you're being rewarded for wins, which you need 5 innings for, quality starts, which you need 6 innings for, and then you get points per innings. So you could strikeouts are the gravy, but you can get by without them if you're a 7-inning guy. I think I probably should have prefaced that. If you're a 7-inning guy, that'll paper over it. Those extra handful of points, the 3 for the outs. And then if you get a strikeout, maybe one strikeout, right? That would be nice. Mize just went 6 picks away. I got 2 pitchers to choose from: Josiah Gray, Huascar Ynoa, Mitch Keller, Domingo Germán, Roansy Contreras. I guess Contreras probably is at the bottom. He probably has the least chance of making an impact. Mitch Keller had the hype video, so I'm going to put the hype video above Ynoa, then Germán. I'm leaving my boy Josiah Gray at the top, the highly touted prospect. He was the centerpiece of the Max Bueller deal. So I'm going to play on the possibility for big upside with Gray. I think that potential is there. Home runs were an issue, but I mean, gosh, you got to look at this guy's track record. He never gave up a home run for the major league. So I'm not quite, and he had 2 pitchers that I think had a 45% whiff rate. He's so legit. So if he falls to 5 picks, I think that's where we're going to go. Hopefully we don't get sniped. I'm, announcing my draft as I'm doing it. Not really the best thing you could do. Oh, people slide. But, for the love of the game. Oh, Huascar Ynoa goes. Yoshi Susugo goes 222. So there you see those undrafted players now being drafted. So expect his ADP to bump up. He's another guy you could circle. He's in the outfield. I wish he was in the infield for the first base, but he is in the outfield. But Susugo is a guy that, we could look at. Again, I'll make sure to comb the bottom of all these. So I just went all the way to the bottom and I saw names I like, Trevor Larnach is there. Brandon Marsh is there. Those guys are playing. Taylor Trammell is at the bottom. I mean, there's guys that are going to hit. These ADPs are completely crazy right now. So Madison Bumgarner goes. I take a sigh of relief as I get Josiah Gray. My offense is locked up. So remember, 20 picks. We're going to go 9 pitchers, which leaves 11 on offense out of the 20. We need 3 starters at each position. I'm going to draft 9 starters, 3 for each spot. So hopefully I have a replacement for the draft pick. Then 5 players to man the 3 infield spots, 6 players to man the 3 outfield spots, and the 1 flex. Although remember, those 2 infielders, extra ones, are eligible to qualify for flex. So I'm running out on a standard week. Albies, Austin Riley, Tim Anderson, Ronald Acuna, Giancarlo Stanton, Hunter Renfroe. But then also have Jared Walsh, Frank Schwendell, Andrew Benintendi, Charlie Blackmon, and Ramon Laureano fighting for that last flex spot. See how it got a little weak there at the end? It really did get a little weak. There's not a ton of that pop big OPS. I took a couple pitchers. I had the big strikeout upside, but I have a couple guys, left on my board. I mean, I really liked them, man. Baz, Manoah, Rogers, Sale, Cease. Gosh, I got some monster guys. I guess maybe I could have passed on McKenzie. Maybe I could have passed on Ryu. But again, man, quality starts in the strikeouts. They are there. So we have 1 pick left, our last pick, coming up right now. And then I'm going to hop off the air. I'm going to go with the hype video man himself, with Mitch Keller. Our draft should be complete, I believe. Yes, our draft is complete. So thank you, everybody, for picking up everything I've been putting down. Hit me up with any questions that you might have. This is just the beginning. Check out the Cork Stats YouTube channel. Check out Cork Stats on the Mayo Media Net. Check out the Cork Stats audio podcast. Check out me at MLB Moving Averages. Look at me. Yeah, I hope you had some fun and we learned something again. It's just a primer, walking through the draft board. Not the general player analysis stuff that I usually do, but as much strategy, best ball, underdog specific content as I could stuff into 85 minutes. So from the big dude with the big mouth from the Big Apple, loving you all very much. I appreciate you. I really, really do. The DMs are just heartwarming, man. It's really, really funny. To think of doing this thing of ours to be touching people the way that we do. So really appreciate everybody out there. You guys mean the world to me. Hit me up any time of day. Doesn't even have to be baseball questions. Some of you come to me with real life questions. I don't mind that too. Some of you guys have even considered friends at this point. We've had some back and forth. Don't be afraid to reach out. I really do care about you. I want you to win. I want you to learn. And me doing it also, right? As I teach, I'm learning myself. I think we did pretty good in this room. I really do. I think we did pretty good, right? So the final team is 9 pitchers: Dylan Cease, Chris Sale, Trevor Rogers, Alek Manoah, Shane Baz, Tristan McKenzie, Hyunjin Ryu, Josiah Gray, Mitch Keller. Lots of strikeouts, quality starts. Albies, Riley, Tim Anderson, Walsh, and Schwendell in the infield. Acuna, Stanton, Renfro, Benintendi, Blackman, and Laureano in the outfield grass. So I think we're looking pretty good. We've got everything that the format asks for. Again, I'll have all the format specific content. Just hit me up for it. I'm going to put some out on Twitter. See if anybody wants to, pay me to put it out. Also, I'm going to run some projections and stuff and catch me in those draft rooms. Tweet at me. Get up in the DMs if you want to be part of the stream. Man, for me, I like to just platform people. Rising tide raise all ships. And remember, when you work this hard, it feels a lot less like luck, don't it? All right, yo. I catch you. Peace. Catch you later. I'll see you in the finals of the Underdog playoffs, yo. Peace.